Hey, how we doing, everybody? Welcome back to another Mash and Drum Whiskey Wednesday night. Thanks for coming in, guys. We got some people already hanging out in the chat. Happy to be here for a Colorado Whiskey Wednesday night, guys. So should be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to talking about some of these really cool whiskeys I had. If you guys don't know, I was in Denver a couple weeks ago, and I got to try some really interesting whiskeys, and I really enjoyed a couple of them. So I wanted to share them with you guys tonight. I had some really good experiences at a couple of the distilleries, and really got to experience a lot of the ways that they make their whiskey. The reason why I was so interested in picking these specific ones that we're going to be talking about tonight is because none of these are sourced. These are all handmade, cut, distilled, barreled, and bottled on site in Colorado at these three specific distilleries. They all have very different styles of what they make, but I really wanted to bring these to you guys. So, really want to say hi to a couple of people here in the chat before we get started. So let's go to the top here. We have Steve A, who I've been chatting with since the beginning. Joseph Brazo, how you doing, buddy? John Watson is here. We have Mike Snook. We have the Bourbon Road. That's Jim Shannon. How you doing? How you doing, Jim? Nice to see you, buddy. Miguel Torres is in the house. John Watson. Let's see. Santa Cruzin is here. How you doing, buddy? Always nice to see you in the chat. Steven Sussman is here. Great to see you. He's interested in some of this Colorado whiskey. Whiskey Ace. Wanted to try the 291. We're gonna definitely get into that, buddy. We'll get into it. Brandon Weiss is in the house. Tammy Brennicky. Numenium. How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Let's see. Who else? Neil the Deal. What's up, buddy? Ian, that bourbon guy's in the house. He's at work. Wants to say hi. Thanks for coming in. Christine Deems. So glad you're here. William Davilar is in the house. Scotty from My Bourbon Journey. Nice to see you as always, man. Brian Brennicky's here. Scotch Test Dummies. What's up, Scotty? Nice to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. Actually, Scott, I think it's the first time I've seen you in the one of my chats, man. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Appreciate it. I think I said hi to Whiskey Ace. Whiskey Crusaders is here. How you doing, buddy? Guy Davis is in the house. How you doing? He's got some Knob Creek single barrel. Good stuff. I better slow it down. Yeah, we don't want you to pass out before it's done. A lot of people coming in, man. Yeah, cool. Tony Cronin's here. Monica Willits is here. Andrew Spurrell. All right. We have a full house already. We got 31 in the chat. Really glad to see you guys. So what we're going to do first, excuse me, that I've been doing is, and that I haven't done in a little while, is actually go through some of the latest news that we have going on in the whiskey world. We don't have too many news stories because we have a good amount of whiskey we're going to be drinking tonight. So before we get into the news, I want to introduce what we're going to be drinking tonight. So first, we're going to be drinking one of my favorites from Colorado is the Stranahan's Yellow Label. I was able to go to their distillery and had a really great experience there. Really love them a lot. Hey, Joshua Fetter's in the house. How you doing? Whiskey Throttle, Jabroni. What's up, buddy? Yep, Jabroni Clan's in the house, everybody. We're also going to be drinking two different offerings from AD Laws. So we have the AD Laws 4-grain straight bourbon cask strength, which is a really interesting mash bill. We'll get into that as well. And also from AD Laws, this was a special release. This is the AD Laws 4-grain straight bourbon finished in Sauternes cask. Sauternes is a French sweet wine, so I'm sure we're going to have some sweet flavors in there. And then to top it all off, to finish off the night, we're going to be sipping on this 291 barrel-proof Colorado bourbon whiskey. You see all the awards that it's won. I have a cool story about this bottle that I'll get into as we go on here. So, Monica Wills, Christine Deems, luckiest woman alive. Yes, Christine has been winning and winning on my channel handily. So, yeah, the sherry cask. Peter White has the Stranahan's sherry cask. Yep, I got to try that at the distillery too, but we'll go through that. But first, let's get into a little bit of whiskey news, guys. We have a couple of cool new releases coming out that haven't hit the market yet. Some stuff that might be a little bit harder to get, but one really cool thing I wanted to mention was this. I think it was last fall, I mentioned this special. There was a special event that Craigellachie was doing for their 51-year-old Scotch, and actually that's coming around again. So Craigellachie is launching its 51-year-old offering by opening a pop-up bar experience in London. They were able to sample this Craigellachie 51-year-old along with other ages in the portfolio. Now that tour is coming to America along with that 51-year-old whiskey. So from May 7th through 9th, Craigellachie will open the doors to its Bar 51 experience at a secret location in New York City, during which a select group of whiskey fans will be a part of the whiskey's U.S. debut. Entries for the Bar 51 are now open. They close at 11:59 on Saturday, April 27th. All winners will be notified on April 29th. So to register for your chance at a seat, and if you're in New York City or New York, please visit craigellachie.com/bar51. Pretty cool. Our second news story. Let's talk about Jack Daniel's number 27 Gold Tennessee Whiskey. So what's going on with this one is what's going to make it a little bit different is this is going to begin life as the original old number 7 Tennessee whiskey after its initial maturation in new charred American oak, but then it's going to be finished in maple wood barrels. This initially launched in 2013 in travel retail and various Asian markets only, but now it's coming to the United States with an MSRP of $100, but it's only bottled at 80 proof, which is kind of a big letdown, at least for me. Let's get into our next story. This is the Big Pete. The 2019 Fagile bottling for Douglas Lang's Big Pete includes over 400 selfies submitted by fans on its packaging. The blended malt includes a peated single malt exclusively from the Isle of Islay, including Ardbeg, Bamor, Kalila, and Port Ellen. Only 3,300 bottles were produced. It is bottled without chill filtration or added coloring at 48% ABV. MSRP is supposed to be about $65. And the bottle that I am most excited for is this one. So this is the Bruichladdich Islay Barley 2011 that's going to be hitting, this will be the 6th release in the series of single malts crafting using 100% barley grown on Islay. This is Oxbridge and Publican barley varieties harvested from 6 Islay farms were used to make this bottle. The unpeated single malt matured its first fill bourbon barrel, 75%, first fill Rivesaltes wine barrels, that's 10%, and second and third fill Austrian and Sauternes sweet wine barrels, which is 15%. The whiskeys were married for 6 months prior to bottling, bottled without chill filtration or added color at 50% ABV. This is supposed to go for about $70. So that is tonight's whiskey news, guys. Really hope there's some of those bottles that you might be interested in. Yeah, it's definitely some great art. $65. Islay, Bruichladdich, yummy, unpeated. Yeah, it is unpeated. But there's something about the Bruichladdich barley, the character to it, that I just love. It's more raw and uncut, and it's a little bit more harsh, and the flavor profiles there are just, I love it. I love Bruichladdich stuff. I'm going to be doing a full review of all 3 of them. So Lottie, yeah, the classic Lottie Whiskey Throttle Daniel, classic Lottie Islay Baller. It is really, really good. So, yeah, so good stuff coming out. Also, guys, before I move on here to our stars of the show here, the whiskey, I want to call out a new podcast that has just kind of hit the, I guess, the podcast streams, as you call it. So in the chat, we have The Bourbon Road. That is Jim Shannon, for those of you that don't know. He just started a new podcast called The Bourbon Road down in Kentucky, him and his buddy Randy. So they're going to be talking about the bourbon lifestyle and how they get into bourbon, how they got into bourbon, and also just the Kentucky lifestyle and how that whole that lifestyle, that agrarian lifestyle of bourbon and Kentucky, really kind of how you can experience that and how they've kind of grown up through that. And I think it's a really cool idea. They started their first they just posted their first one. Visit thebourbonroad.com and you'll see all the links to all the different places you could download it. And the first one is up. You could kind of learn a little bit about the two guys, about Jim and Randy. And then they're going to be releasing some new episodes in coming up next month in May. So go check it out, guys. It's called thebourbonroad.com. Yeah, burble. I think I said burble. Thank you, Rebecca. I totally said burble. All right, guys. So to start off the night, I'm going to start off with some Stranahan's Yellow Label. So if you guys let me know what you guys are sipping tonight and in the chat. And cheers. This is for you guys. Take care. Love the Stranahan's. So a little bit about Stranahan's, guys. I was able to head over to the distillery while I was in Denver for a little while. And unfortunately, I got there a little late. I couldn't do a tour, but I met one of the girls that work behind the counter, and also met one of the I forgot his name. I think his name was Jacob, and he worked in the back, and he was part of the barreling and bottling team. So it was really cool. Hey, Josh Galladay's in the house. How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you, man. So what I got to do... Hey, Lockness is here as well. Sorry, guys. Keep seeing people coming in. Whiskey... Damn, this tortellini is good. Daniel, are you eating tortellini? Very nice. Don't choke on that, Daniel. Eat it slow. It's a very cheesy. It could kind of sit in your belly. Relax. It's probably woofing it down, man. All right. So, as I mentioned, the distillery experience was really cool. It's very hands-on. You get to see all the different types of barley that they use to craft their whiskeys. Now, Stranahan's was founded by Jess Graber and George Stranahan, which is where, obviously the name comes from. It was founded in 2004. Small batch whiskey containing about 10 to 20 barrels. It's a blend of 2 and 5-year-old whiskeys and new charred oak barrels. It's made from 100% Rocky Mountain barley and water. And these guys do everything at the distillery hands-on, and I absolutely love it. That's right. Let's see who's here. William Davalar. All right, so the thing that struck me about Stranahan's Yellow Label, let me put this in the forefront here. Whiskey Ace has some Stranahan single barrel cask strength he could pour when he gets home. And you know what? I was really planning on getting a bottle of that, but unfortunately, when I arrived at the distillery, it was already gone. Whiskey Throttle said it's not cheese, it's garlic chicken with garlic tomato sauce. Now to find a whiskey to pair with it. Wow. Very nice. That sounds like a good meal, Dan. Now I'm getting hungry. So what I really like too is Stranahan's. All these, they have volunteers that actually help out there in labeling these bottles, putting them on, and then also writing the bottle number on there and the batch. So it's a really cool community experience, really hands-on. One of my favorite things about the bottle is it comes with this little tin cup for a perfect 3-ounce pour. This used to just pop right off, but now it thankfully just screws right on the top there, which is kind of nice. Oh, okay, yeah. Let me call that out too before I forget. Scott from Scotch Test Dummies, he just called out that the next episode of Another Round, which is the collaboration between 6 different YouTubers, my bourbon journey, Scott from Scotch Test Dummies, Kyle from Bourbon Blind Whiskey Reviews, John out there, Adventures in Whiskey. We all collaborate, and we're going to be talking about a bunch of different subjects. It's going to be next week on the 30th, and it's going to be on my channel. So definitely want to let you guys know about that, and definitely tune in. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have some really cool topics that night, so it's always a blast hanging with those guys. Hey, Mose Chun just dropped a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Mose. As usual, you get the mash and you get the drum or the cymbal. Sorry if that's too loud, guys. So the one thing I always got on Stranahan's was an incredibly delicious citrus and marshmallow note. I think it has so much flavor right on the front, right on the front of the nose here. The scent, the way it smells, it's very inviting, very sweet. I get a good apple note in here, a lot of honey, a little bit of butter. I love the nose on the Stranahan, and being such a young whiskey at only about 2 to 5 years old, blended. I think they really do a great job in crafting it. You get to see all the 4 different types of barley that they use at different toasting levels before they match it together and create their whiskeys. It was a really fun, really cool place to be. Everyone was really friendly. I really liked it. Brian Walsh, hey, I'm traveling to Ohio, Dublin, New Albany area. Any decent liquor marts in the area? Brian, some of the biggest selection you're going to find a Giant Eagle Market District that has a liquor store in it. They usually have the biggest selection. But you're not going to find anything really rare or hard to find because that stuff kind of trickles into Ohio, and you have to kind of be there as soon as it comes in, and then it just gets bought up right away. Case in point, on Tuesday, we hadn't had any Blantons come in for a few weeks, and then 6 or 7 bottles of Blantons came in yesterday morning at Kroger, and they were all gone in a flash. So it's just the way it goes down. Also, guys, we're going to be doing a really cool giveaway tonight. So one person is going to win all 4 of these whiskeys tonight, samples. So we're going to do a sample pack going for all 4 of these. So tonight we're going to be giving away a 4 sample pack of all 4 of these after we go through them and try them. So... Hey, Jabroni with the super chat, 99 cents. Thank you so much, man. Enjoy that tortellini. Thank you so much, Daniel. Appreciate it. Malton Montreal says, "What's up, fuckers?" How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Michael Buckwash. Really appreciate that. Swami's in the house. Good to see you, buddy. All right. Now, so I got to try all 3 Stranahans, and if you guys don't know, they have 3 steady offerings that you could find. They have the yellow label, they have the black label, which is called Diamond Peak, which is just a little bit older, and then they have the sherry cask finish, which was really delicious and really sweet as well. I was trying to go back and forth. Monica Willits, okay, in a very good way, you look like the brawny guy. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Monica. I'm waiting for John from Blind Whiskey Reviews to come in and yell at me because the flannel is kind of his thing, just kind of cool. Malton in Montreal. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks a lot, Swami. He's coming in with $2. He is drinking the Leafs fans' tears. And there you go. Thank you very much, Swami. Yeah, I'm sorry for you, Toronto Maple Leaf fans. I know that was a rough loss. But now the Boston Bruins are coming here to Columbus to play the Columbus Blue Jackets, who just really put a whooping on the number 1 team in Tampa Bay Lightning. So everyone's really getting psyched for that. So the thing I liked mostly about the yellow label was it is the bite that it has on the end. I like that. I like that whiskey, and I'm finding this more and more in single malts. You know, I as much as I love older single malt whiskeys, the young ones, the ones that are about 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, have like this really nice barley bite on the end, and I really like that. And that's something I wasn't getting in the black label or the sherry finish, but I still get it here, and I really like it. Yeah, Stranahans. If you guys can get your hands on a yellow label Stranahans, definitely get it. Dan the Man Trout's in the house. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in. Brian Brennicky says Columbus, second best Vegas odds for the Stanley Cup. Yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know if I'm going to be placing any bets, but... all right, guys. So, next up, we're going to get into AD laws, which is a whole nother type of process that they use. So, we're going to start with the, we're going to go cask strength right here. We're going to go with the cask strength first. There it is, AD laws, 4 grain, straight bourbon. This comes in at 54.9% alcohol. This is barrel number 902. So we're gonna get into a little AD laws in the process a little bit. Let me just pour that out. Let me let it open up a little bit here. This is a pretty dark whiskey. I'll kind of hold it to the camera here. It's got a really deep, rich color to it. Really cool. Mont Montreal flannel is a whiskey tuber tradition started by the best couple in the game, Trenny and Clementine. Yes, you gotta love the flannel. Let's see. Jeff Purnell. Oh, he likes the Diamond Peak over the yellow. Brad Copeland. Thanks, man. If you hit the symbol again, I will send this money. Fantastic brawny, bro. All right. Thanks, Brad. I will definitely hit the symbol. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot, Brad. Appreciate it. All right, so a little bit about AD laws. AD laws they are really serious about crafting their whiskey. When I got to visit them, they have a super rich tradition and also a really hardcore mindset when it comes to crafting their whiskeys. Now, they do 4 grain bourbons. They have a ton of different types of finishes that they use. I have a little bit of a write-up here about it, and I'll read it to you guys. So what makes laws unique is the reinventing of whiskey tradition in order to create the best possible product, from custom-made Vendome stills to the difficult and painstaking production of using a 4-grain whiskey as a flagship product. They list their suppliers on the website. They're extremely transparent. They use Breese Malting, Colorado Malting Company, and the Independent Stave Company, showcasing the best of the best ingredients which surround this brand with an air of commitment to excellence in Colorado. So the cask strength, this is a minimum of 3 years aging for this product. I actually had made some graphics here. Let me see if I can find one here. 80 Laws 1. All right, so this is what we're sipping, everybody. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm a super bourbon nerd. Absolutely, Monica. So this is what we're sipping. I have the graphic up. This is the 80 Laws 4 grain. Actually, no, that's the wrong one. That's the Sauternes finish. We're going to go right to the cask strength. Here we go. So this was about $90. This is available now, but I don't know how much. I know you can get this in New York. I've been in a few states where I've seen 80 Laws. The mash bill, now this is the 4 grain that they use here. The mash bill is 60% corn, 20% rye, 10% malted barley, and 10% wheat. So it's got a really nice mix of grains here, and it's always interesting to see how those play out when you're sipping on a 4 grain bourbon. Hey, Whiskey She Wines is in the house. How you doing, man? Oh, Sam is here too. How you doing, guys? If anyone hasn't checked out Whiskey She Wines, their channel, they're doing a great job. Newer channel. You guys already know about Scott at Scotch Test Dummies, Scott at My Bourbon Journey, Whiskey Crusaders is in the house. I mentioned the Bourbon Road. Yeah, a lot of great stuff in here. Let's see. I was trying to figure out which state's abbreviation was AD and what their laws were. Rebecca. That's pretty funny. Let's see. Actually, the name comes from the founder, Al Laws. So that's his name, Al Laws. I'm guessing his middle name is D, but that's where it came from. So AD Laws comes from his name. So hopefully that solved it a little bit for you. Darn, for a 20-year-old bourbon to wash down this tortellini. he's looking for a 20-year-old bourbon to wash down his tortellini. That should be a nice combination. What's up, Steve A? All right. So this on the nose is completely different. This is one of the most unique mash bills I've seen. And again, going back to what I was looking for with picking these 3 distilleries, these guys are doing everything on site in house. I mean, they're malting their barley outside, but everything that they're doing is all, it's all in house. They're barreling, they're aging, they're distilling. It's great. I love that about a lot of these whiskey places that I got to visit. Stranahan's, 291. And AD Laws. They're really doing a great job with what they're doing, and they're very, very passionate about it, which is awesome. Hey, Whiskey in the Sixes here. What's up, Rob? Rob, I hope you're okay. I know Rob was a huge Rob's a huge Maple Leafs fan. I hope you're all right. Thanks for coming in, Rob. Hope you got over it. Michael Buckwash, let's see. Did anyone try the 2019-01 Bookers yet? Anyone have thoughts? Michael Buckwash, I reviewed that. If you head to my channel and check out the review I did, I was not a fan. I'll give you the short version, but you can watch the review and look for yourself. DJ Beacon's in the house. How you doing, buddy? All right, so this is one of the most unique noses I found in a bourbon. It's incredibly... I mean, you get notes of rye off the bat, but actually, let me go back to the. Let's see. This is 20% rye, so it's not super high, but it's But I smell a strong rye character to it. But the one thing that I'm getting on this that's really unique is it smells like root beer. So if you ever had root beer or sarsaparilla, I definitely get that on the nose. It's very earthy. It's got like this kind of, I don't know, earthy, grassy undertone to it. There's definitely some good caramel flavors in there. But yeah, I mean, this thing, it smells like root beer. It's crazy. In a good way. In a good way. It's sweet. It's savory. It's got some really good flavors there on the nose. Whiskey Throttle asks, Rob is a huge jabroni. He's as big as a jabroni as I am, buddy. All right, so let me go for a sip here. Let's see what we get. Cheers, everybody. Wow. Intense clove and ginger right off the bat. A little bit of rye. Very, very sweet, though. It's almost like that root beer or sarsaparilla syrup, like before it becomes root beer. It's like that intense of a flavor. Let me go in for another sip here. Yeah, each different sip is kind of, well, I've taken 2 sips, and both were completely different. The first one was all root beer sweetness. The second one, I was getting a little bit more of a caramel, vanilla, and rye aspect to it. It's really interesting. Let me go in for another sip here. Hey, Eric Waite's in the house. Didn't see you come in, man. Thanks for coming in, buddy. I get root beer notes sometimes from rye. Yeah, this just seems to be a lot more concentrated in that root beer flavor. It's not like a wave of root beer. I mean, it smells like opening a bottle of root beer. It's pretty crazy. Hey, Scotch on the Bayou's in the house. Nice to see you, man. If you guys haven't, follow Scotch on the Bayou on Instagram. Does some amazing articles and write-ups. It has a really interesting one that that just posted about how palates can change and going from one whiskey you maybe hate the first time you try it to loving it maybe the third or fourth time around. So go check out Scotch on the Bayou. It was a really, really cool article. Let me go down here. Steve A, good call. Drinking the regular 4-grain, but still get some of that. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of root beer kick to this, but it's starting to get a little bit sweeter now with more sips. So we're going to have one more here. This is really good, by the way. Yeah. Vanilla. I'm getting more of an orange characteristic from the rye. There's some raisin in there, some dark, rich raisin characteristics. Definitely some oak on the finish. Man, so just kind of not as intensely as Texas. I did learn that things in Colorado, age a little bit faster. Maybe it's somewhere in between Texas speed and Kentucky speed. Colorado is somewhere in the middle of that speed, as far as aging wise. So it's a little bit longer than probably Texas whiskey takes to age, but not nearly as long as Kentucky with the changing environment. So you do get some of that good oak characteristic and some of those sharp flavors from a younger whiskey. But there's a ton of flavor in here. Yeah, the more I sip on it, it's becoming more rye, more earthy, orange. That root beer note is still there. Oak. The finish is very strong. It lingers. Good mouthfeel to it. Overall, it's a really, really nice whiskey for only being, 2 to 3 years old. Got a lot of flavor in there. If you like that root beer or that sarsaparilla type profile, then 80 Laws would be a place you should definitely check out. Or if not, if you can't get there, definitely, if you could find the store, definitely pick up a bottle. It's really good. Scotch in the Bayou. Thanks a bunch, Jason. It was a challenging article to write about being fair to the whiskey. Appreciate your comments. Yeah, it was a very good article. I definitely appreciated it, Scotch in the Bayou. A lot of the stuff that you wrote has happened to me over the years, so really good stuff. All right, so next we're going to go into the AD Laws special release. This is finished in Sauternes. This is a purple label. This is 3+ years, but this comes in at 47.5 ABV. So I'll give you guys a cool look at that bottle. They put the little sticker on it that says wine cask finish. This is Sauternes. As I mentioned, a sweet wine characteristic here. So let me get a pour of this. See what else you guys are saying in the channel here. Someone send me some 291. Can't get it. Ship it to me. Justin Willard wants some 291. Yeah, I have a really cool story about the 291 a little bit once we go through the Sauternes one. So should be pretty cool. Whiskey Crusaders is in the house. Go check out their channel, guys. Whiskey Crusaders is another great channel. Should be getting a lot more views. Definitely check them out. Tammy Brennicky says she's drinking the Old Forester store pick. Oh, very cool. Some of those Old Forester store picks can be really good, but I find them a little bit fewer and far between to be... I find more bad ones than really good, unique ones, unfortunately. But that's just me. Rebecca Page, okay, educate me. What is a Sauterne? Sauternes is it's a French sweet fortified wine. That's all it is. I'm sure it's some kind of a grape. Hey, Whiskey in the Six. Thank you so much, Rob. He just sent some Canadian dollars this way. Says, cheers, brother. Thank you so much. This is for you, Rob. Again, really, really sorry about your Toronto Maple Leafs, but me and Rob are going to be doing a collaboration real soon, so keep an eye on for that, guys. Double down. Did you mean to double down like that? It's a sweet white wine. Okay, thanks for clearing that up, William. Sauternes is a dessert wine. Okay. So, is this the Sauternes one? Oh yeah, definitely smells like it. All right, let's go with the color here, guys. Let me show you the Sauternes first. This is still a very, very dark, liquid here in this glass. Sticks really nicely. It's still a good proof. Let me pull up the stats here for you guys to check it out. There we go. 80 Laws, 4 grain, Sauternes finish, 47.5 ABV. This came in about $90. This was a special release. And you can see, again, the mash bill is right in front of you. They still use that same 60% corn, 20% rye, 10% barley, and 10% wheat. Mr. Bill, Jason, how many open bottles do you have? I could drive up and help you with them. I have a lot. I have a lot of open bottles right now. It started off slowly, but the more that I reviewed and the more I did, I would say probably out of my over 300 bottles, I probably have a good 150 open. So, yeah, I have a good amount of whiskey. Hey, thank you so much, Scotty. Scotty said more money than Rob sent without the double down, actually, in U.S. dollars. It's still more. Well said, buddy. Thank you so much. This is for you, Scotty. Thanks, Scotty. Scott and Bart both have been a really great support of the channel since I started. So thank you so much, Scotty. Thanks for coming in, man. Now we're gonna go to the authority on this, Eric Waite. So Sauternes is made by a mold, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that word, that sucks the moisture out of the grapes and intensifies the sugar. That sounds both intriguing and disgusting at the same time. Thank you, Eric. That's cool. Nectar Dior was a Sauternes. Yeah, Whiskey Ace. The Nectar Dior from Glenmorangie was a Sauternes finish as well. So let's see what it did to this particular bourbon. It's definitely made an impact on the nose. It's not as root beer forward as the first one was. There's more so where I was getting the raisin characteristic on the palate. Now I'm getting the rich raisin and sugars right up front on the nose as well. DH Silv Dustin, well, I'm always willing to come over and do one of each. Hey, Dustin, whenever you want to come by, man. Buds, the animated series is in house. Yo, what's up? Whiskey Ace. So it turns as nothing like sherry. Yeah, I wouldn't think it is like sherry. Sauternes seems to be more of a fortified, more sweet of a wine, where sherry is sweet, but I don't think it's really. I mean, Eric, wait, you could correct me here. I don't think sherry is classified as a dessert wine like Sauternes is. Todd Kwarzinski, you should show the whole room off and collection. I will at some point. I've done it in a few videos, actually, in some of them, but I have another shelving unit coming in. So as soon as that's installed and I get more of my bottles up there, I'll definitely do... I actually ran out of shelving room. I got a bunch of bottles on the floor, and I got a lot of bottles upstairs taking up space in my cabinets in the kitchen. So I'll definitely be working on that. I'll keep that. Okay, yes. Botrytis is also known as noble rot. Wow. Jeff Purnell says, wow, Jason, I thought I had a problem. It's not so much a problem as it is a solution if you have enough people to drink it with. Come on. Steve A. Sherry is a fortified wine like port. Yes, which I knew. So it turns as a sweet dessert wine. Okay, there you go. Whiskey Crusaders, I have similar problems with my bottles. Don't we all? All right, yeah, this is definitely a lot sweeter on the nose, like I said. More raisin, more sugary sweet, a little bit of a brown sugar note in there too. I think I get, I'm still getting a little bit of hints of that root beer, sarsaparilla kind of behind the sweetness. It's just not as much to the forefront. So let's go to the palate and see what we get. Cheers. Oh, that's really nice. That actually mellowed it out a little bit and made the finish a little bit sweeter. Oh, I like that a lot. This isn't one of those finishes that's overdone. The Sauternes just kind of kisses it a little bit. This is not overdone at all. Really, really nice. Really, really nicely crafted. Let me go for another sip here. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Yeah, it's almost like the Sauternes finish, that sweet, fortified, that dessert wine aspect to it. It kind of mellowed out that rye and that ginger spice I was getting on the end. Now it's just coming in as sweet. Yeah, it's almost like raisins and dates right on the end there. It's really, really good. Justin Willard, how long will open bottle keep? Well, Justin, I could tell you that the whiskey is definitely not going to age any longer while it's in that bottle. But air and oxidation could change it. I have found this more in Scotch personally than bourbon. Sometimes the bourbon or a Scotch does benefit from the air getting into it. It definitely opens it up, releases some more flavors in it. But sometimes when it gets a little bit too low, the oxidation can hurt it. I have this really beautiful Knob Creek store pick. That was it was a 14-year-old pick, and I drank it down to a certain point, and right past the neck pour and the shoulder, it was really, really good. Past the shoulder, about to the middle of the bottle, it was exceptional. And then as it got to the very, very end, it just got funky. So obviously the amount of air that got to it definitely messed with the whiskey. What I'm finding in scotches, especially peated scotches, as you sip them, the first couple pours you have from a heavily peated scotch, it's just all smoke and all seaweed and saltiness and sea air and all that deliciousness. But as the bottle comes down, a lot of that sweetness comes through, and it's amazing what a little bit of air can do to whiskey, and also a little bit of water as well. Hope I'm not making anyone dizzy with my crazy hands. Sorry, guys. I gotta say, I think I like the Sauternes over the regular cast strength. It just has a nicer balance of sweet and just has a really nice blend of sweetness and also those really nice root beer flavors that I was getting in the regular cast strength. It's really nice, very, very well done by AD Laws. Oh, the Bourbon Road coming in. Wow, $20, man. Thank you so much. Looking forward to a jam session in the whiskey room. Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, if you guys missed it, go to thebourbonroad.com. Jim and Randy starting a new Bourbon Road podcast about the bourbon lifestyle down in Kentucky. I'm hoping to be on an episode with them very soon. I think they're going to either come here to the whiskey room or I'll come down to Kentucky. We're going to work it out. But definitely go check them out, the Bourbon Road. Thank you so much, Jim. You get a big cymbal crash. Nice. Eric, wait, you should have been a music conductor with those hands. I know. They don't really call it conductor hands when you're in Italy. They just call it, your hands. You got to duck when you talk because people, you're at the dinner table, you got to be, you have to be spry because people they're talking and you might get smacked. That's how it works. Let's see. What else we got here? Brian Brennicky. I have a big purse. Nice. All right, guys. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the star of the show now. We're going to go to this 291, which I'm really excited to open with you guys. So here's my story about the 291. So I was not able to get to this distillery while I was in Denver because it was a little bit far off the beaten path from where I was, unfortunately. Take care, Dustin. Be good, buddy. Yeah, they call it talking in Italy. Exactly, Joseph. So what happened is I went to this Actually, let me clear the screen here. So I went to a liquor store in Nashville. I'm sorry, in Denver, Colorado. I was in Nashville actually last week. So in Denver, I've been traveling a lot. So in Denver, I was here at a liquor store, and I saw a bunch of these on the shelf, and they were on the top shelf, and they had a tasting, and I got to taste one of them, and it wasn't the bourbon, it was just a Colorado whiskey, which I thought was actually really, really good. It just didn't have 51% corn in it. It wasn't enough to call it a bourbon. So what happened is that night, just by chance, I went to a bar. And I was trying to find if I could try more of this 291 because I was really interested after that tasting of the whiskey. And what happened is it just so happens that the bartender at the bar had used to work at 291. So he was just going down deep dive into what 291 is about, what they do, and I really couldn't believe the story. It was really cool, and he said that what you should really be doing is trying the regular bourbon. So he did a little bit pour of the bourbon. He served it to me, and even before I smelled it, even before I put it up to my nose, he just kind of poured it, slid it in front of me. It was a butterscotch bomb that just waved over me. It's almost like a peated scotch. When you put it in front of you, you could smell that smoke. I just smelled butterscotch. It was unbelievable. And then when I got this thing up to my nose, take care, Rob. Rob's taking off. Be good, buddy. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for the super chat. Really appreciate it, Rob. I'm just seeing if anyone's leaving here. Okay, yeah. So as you put this thing in front of me, I mean, the smell on this was just incredible. It reminded me of if you've had an dusty bourbon, an old dusty bourbon where you have a really, really prominent butterscotch note. That's what it reminded me of. And it was really, really unique. And then I tasted the stuff. And that butterscotch note just came through the entire experience. It was delicious, and I just wanted to know more about it. So we kind of sat there, talked about it, and then he said, well, when you go to the store, if you have a chance to go again, you have to get the barrel-proof version of this. And that's what we got here tonight, guys. So this is the 291 Colorado Bourbon Whiskey barrel-proof version. You can see all the stickers of the awards that it's won. I'm gonna throw the graphic up here for you guys to check out the stats of this stuff. And here it is. The 291 barrel-proof bourbon comes in at 50.8% ABV. This is about $100. It's made from corn, malted rye, and malted barley mash. So they also malt the rye on top of the malted barley, which is pretty cool. So people in the chat are talking about man bags, and I'm not sure what's happening. But, yeah, it's a little bit scary. While people are talking German, it's getting crazy. All right, guys. So I haven't opened this bottle yet. So we're gonna experience this first pour together here. So it's got a cool metal twist, one of those twisty cap things. Kind of a cool cork. Let's pop this open. Oh, it had a nice pop to it. Oh, I smell the butterscotch. All right, I'm hoping it's even more intense in this glass here. So let's get a pour. Taking a big pour of that stuff. Wow, talk about dark, guys. Look at this. Look at that. Really, really dark. Very rich. This thing is really sticking in the glass well, too. Really nice. All right, so while this is opening up, let me tell you a little bit about 291 because I love sharing the knowledge here. This is a small batch whiskey distillery making whiskey and liqueur nestled in the stunning foothills of the Rocky Mountains. This is located in Colorado Springs, sits in the shadows of the Cheyenne Mountains and the majestic Pikes Peak. So This is actually pretty funny. The creator of this whiskey is Michael Myers, not the murderer, but the 291 distiller. So he wanted to replicate the taste, smell, and folklore of the Wild West. So when he grew up, knowing about these different, hearing about Jack Daniels, Jim Beam, and all these other whiskeys. So he says that he is no stranger to whiskey or the West. He spent his youth in the heart of whiskey and horse country, inspired by the spirited traditions of Georgia and Tennessee. Names like Daniels, Beam, and Dickel were like family in that neck of the woods. Myers finally followed his passion and moved his family west in 2004. After a bit of research, he fired up his first run on the still in September of 2011. Today, Distillery 291 is producing from grain to bottle 7 distinctive products and 1 liqueur. The young distillery has earned national and international recognition for its spirits with unique character and flavor of a bygone era, earning bushels of national and international awards. So, sorry if I went through that a little fast, but I want you guys to learn more about the distillery and what goes into it, just like I do. So, yeah, definitely a nice pop. Mike Myers, yeah. I'll tell you, man, you guys are cracking me up in the chat tonight. And Monica agrees. The chat is killing me. This is a fun night tonight, guys. You guys are in good spirits. You must be drinking good stuff. Whiskey Crusaders, yes. 291 so far is only in Colorado, unfortunately. But tonight we're gonna give away a tasting set of this. So hopefully somebody out there that's not in Colorado will be able to taste this 291. So let's go right to the nose and see what we get. I'm really excited to see if that butterscotch note is still there. So, oh hell yeah, it's still there. Wow. So one other quick note about this whiskey and what they do there. So I wanted to mention this is a 1-year-old barrel-aged whiskey, and it's distilled in copper pot stills, finished with charred Colorado aspen staves. So even more of that Colorado folklore in the bottle, to kind of keep it very local. And I really like the bottle shape too. Kind of this tapered look to it, the 291. Really nice. This is all butterscotch and molasses on the nose. Really, really heavy, very sweet. A little bit of a honey character to it. There is some rye spice to it. The proof isn't really coming through too strong. The price on the 291, this one was 100 because it was the barrel proof. The regular bourbon, I think, came in at 55, if I remember correctly. Monica Willits, okay, Mash and Drum, you have to call out Brandon Weiss. He's getting married in 3 days. Brandon is walking down the aisle, everybody. Throw Brandon a big congratulations. Man, Brandon, I hope you're going to be drinking some good stuff on your wedding. Congrats, man. That's awesome. You know what? My first pour here. You know what, Brandon? Brandon, for your wedding, I'm going to send you something. You know what, Brandon? I'm going to send you a sample of the new Four Roses Batch Select for you, just to say a congrats. If I don't have your email yet, Brandon, throw it in the chat. I definitely want to send you something. Congratulations, man. That's great. It's amazing when you could find someone, spend the rest of your life with. I'm sorry to get a little cheesy, but it's true. It's crazy. It's crazy in today's dating world. I should know. It's crazy, man. It's crazy out there. So for the first sip, cheers to Brandon. Congratulations, everybody out there. Give Brandon a nice cheers, and let's congratulate him, everybody. Cheers. Wow. I was not expecting that flavor punch. Woo. Okay, so I will say for a young bourbon, it definitely tastes young. It's got a lot of sharp, very grainy characteristics to it. A lot of corn sweetness. Wow. Eric Wilford, can you name any other bourbons that are butterscotch bombs? I usually only pick that up with scotch. Eric, let's see. Butterscotch bomb whiskeys. Well, I don't know. It's not a bourbon. It's an American whiskey. But Michter's American comes through to me as very vanilla and butterscotch. Some of the Russell's Reserve. Well, actually, no, not Russell's Reserve. I'm looking at my shelf here to try to remember if anything comes in butterscotch. Butterscotchy. Yeah, definitely the Michter's. A lot of the Michter's products, even the Michter's Ryes, can come through butterscotch too. It's crazy all the flavor that they get in there. Some of the Elijah Craig barrel proofs, depending on which one, I'll get a butterscotch note, but not many. Let me see. I tend to get butterscotch and more of the lower proof stuff, surprisingly, because you don't have those. Those overpowering flavors that you get from the proof, and also from the, for some of the rye spice. So I feel like lower proof bourbons that are a little bit less harsh, a little bit sweeter, you can get more of a butterscotch characteristic to it. Definitely like some of the bottle and bonds, you could get some of that stuff. The Heaven and Hill bottle and bond, I got a good peanut character. There's some butterscotch in there too. Sometimes in the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, I'll get a butterscotch. Those are just a few that I can name off the top of my head. The Ancient Age, if you go really low key, if you go to the Ancient Age, some of the older ones have a nice butterscotch note to it. So hey, Rebecca Page. Yeah, I just mentioned the Double Oak Woodford. Yeah, Woodford Double Oak definitely has a really nice butterscotch note. Woodford Reserve Woodford Double Oaked on the nose to me is like a Snickers bar, but it comes through sometimes in this butterscotchy way as well. It's really nice on the nose. Sometimes even with whatchamacallit, some of the Buffalo Trace bourbons, just a regular standard offering. I don't always get it, but sometimes even when I pop those open, I'll get a butterscotch note there as well. Most Chun said 1792. Yeah, I would. That's a really good call out, Mo. 1792 small batch has a butterscotch note to it. If you've ever gone to the Barton Distillery and had their new make, which I've had right off the still, I mean, that is really, really buttery. It's a really nice. If they just sold their new make, I'd probably buy that. It's really good. Coming off the still, that has a very, very good butterscotch note to it as well. There's a few bourbons out there. All right, so back to the 291. Here we go. Man. Honeycomb, molasses, butterscotch, rye. A really nice finish. That's lovely. That's a really good whiskey. It's got a ton of flavor to it. I don't think this would be for everybody because it is on the younger side, and it is very, very sharp. It's got some really sharp flavors to it. I mean, it comes in pretty hot too. The flavors on it. The bourbon was a little bit more refined, I think, at a lower proof when I had it. Definitely that butterscotch note, as I mentioned, really played out really nicely. This, though, with that higher proof, you're getting the butterscotch, but you're getting hit with that a molasses, a rye spice, really nice flavors to it. A little bit of getting a little bit of some raisins and dates on this too. A little bit of a fruity characteristic. It's really complex being that barrel proof, but those sharp flavors, it's definitely, you could tell it's a younger whiskey here. Good night, Santa Cruz, and thanks for coming in, buddy. Rebecca Page, not a bourbon, but I get some butterscotch out of Glenlivet 12. I could see that, Rebecca. There's some scotch that I've gotten some butterscotch notes to it as well. Joseph Brazo says, my wife is a bourbon badass. That's awesome, man. The Bourbon Road, sharp, bright, brittle. I would need some more time with this, Jim, just because it is a new pour. But as this opens up, a nutty characteristic is coming through a little bit here, especially on the nose. Not getting it as much on the palate. But the best way I could describe this right now, yeah, this is butterscotch and molasses with maybe some honey roasted peanuts mixed in, all kind of working together. It's a really nice bourbon. Barrel proof, very strong, a lot of flavor, and on the finish, you definitely get some rye spice there. So, really well crafted stuff. I just love what's going on in Colorado. They're making some really, really great bourbons and whiskeys. If you guys have the opportunity to get any, definitely try them out. The fact that they're handcrafting all this stuff and not just sourcing that's what really kind of turned me on to really exploring more about these Colorado whiskeys. So, yeah, really great stuff. Whiskey Crusaders. My wife loves peated scotch, so that is awesome. Oh, Whiskey Crusader, that's really awesome. All right, guys. So, what I'm going to do tonight is I want to give one of you guys out there a chance to try all 4 of these. I know a lot of these aren't, well, especially the 291, even the 80 Laws isn't available in a lot of markets. So I'm going to send you a sample of all 4 of these that we tried tonight. So, I was kind of thinking about it, and I said, oh, what could I give away tonight to, for people to try? And I just figured, yeah, you know what? Let's give away kind of a taster's pack tonight. So the winner tonight will get all 4 of these mailed to them, and should be pretty fun. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask a trivia question like I normally do. We've got 62 in the chat, 63, everyone hanging out. So let's go to, I did have a question lined up for you guys. Let me grab it here. All right, here we go. This was a pretty interesting question when I found out. So, where is it? There it is. All right, got it. So Denver. Wait, first, are you guys ready? I want you guys to get ready. Hey, 61 watching, only 33 thumbs up. Get to. Thanks a lot, Steve. I appreciate that. Yeah, hit the like button, guys, if you haven't yet. Really appreciate that. So, all right, guys, get your thumbs ready. This is for a 4 sample flight of all these Colorado whiskeys that we tried here tonight. So this is the question. So Denver lays claim. This is about Denver. Denver lays claim to the invention of this extremely popular American classic food. The trademark for the name was awarded in 1935, and his name was Louis Ballast. So if you guys can name the food that Denver lays claim to inventing, you will win all 4 of these. DJ Bacon, the answer is Buddy. No, it's not a drumming question, DJ. Sorry, man. Whiskey Ace says liked. Okay. All right, I'm waiting for it. Rocky Oysters. No, was actually Whiskey Ace. That was my guess. Rocky Mountain Oysters. It was not Rocky Mountain It was not Rocky Mountain Oysters. I Whiskey She Wines. You got it. Yes, it is the cheeseburger. That's right. I Whiskey She Wines on my. Did anyone say it before him? I'm just going through and checking, guys. Just want to make sure. No, he got it first. They got it first. So Denver lays claim to the invention of the cheeseburger. The trademark for the name cheeseburger was awarded in 1935 to Louis Ballast. I Whiskey She Wines, you win the Christmas turkey. Good job, buddy. I will connect with you on Instagram. I have your contact information. We'll get together and I will send you a tasting 4-pack of all of these. So should be a lot of fun, man. congrats to I Whiskey She Wines. I got to tell you, though, Denver, the best food I had in Denver was their burritos, man. Their burritos was off the hook. My goodness. They had some amazing Mexican food. It was sick. It was so good. I Whiskey She Wine, complete blind guess. Are you serious? Neil the Deal, did I get it first? Let me go back up and check, Neil. Let me see. Now remember, everyone's chat could look a little different, but on my screen, it was I Whiskey She Wines that came through. Yeah, I Whiskey She Wines got it the first time. So, I thought that went to Wimpy and Popeye. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all right, awesome, guys. So, I Whiskey She Wines, I will connect with you. I'll be happy to share these. You know what? We should do I Whiskey She Wines. Maybe we should do a live stream together. I'm curious to get your opinion on all four of these. So that should be pretty cool. Maybe we could talk about that. Rebecca Page, let's see, was that thanks to Google, lots of useless knowledge. Rebecca Page, I think he said it was just a pure guess. So really that was really funny. I can't believe you guessed that and got that right. That's awesome. All right, guys. So what I'm gonna do is for the last dram of the night here, I'm gonna blend all four of these. So this is a mix of the Stranahans, the 2 AD Laws, and the 291. Let's see if we create an awesome blend here. Gonna mix that. Look at the color in that blend. Nice and dark. We'll mix this together. Oh my God, it smells crazy. This smells like almond and if there's such a thing as an almond root beer cookie, that's what it would be. Oh man, that's crazy on the nose. Let's go for a taste. Oh, that's actually not bad. Pretty good blend. I might keep that one in the pocket there. Really nice. That's actually really good. I'm gonna take another sip. Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's like all this young whiskey in a glass. It's all very sharp. A lot of sharp flavors are hitting my palate, but very good. Before we sign off tonight, guys, I want to say thanks real quick to my patrons. If your name is here, thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon and supporting my channel, what I do, you could support the channel for as little as $1 a month. Help me in getting better equipment, producing more content, and trying to find some better whiskey to produce for you guys. So I really appreciate it. Also, if you haven't yet, I have my really cool Mash and Drum whiskey glasses for sale. If you go in the description of this video, you can see the link to ordering them. There's about 7 or 8 different ones besides this really nice curved bourbon glass. So really appreciate you guys watching tonight. Definitely check out the glasses link. Definitely order some glasses. There's a cool deal. If you order 4 or more, you get free shipping. Like I said, I make no money on them. I just want to get my name out there and get some of my whiskey glasses out there. There's all different types. So definitely go check it out. Thanks again tonight for all the super chats. Thank you for all the support. Thanks for joining me in this really cool whiskey night. Thanks again for joining the chat. And congrats again to Brandon Weiss. The dude's getting married. So I'm going to cheers again once to him and say it's not about the whiskey. It's the people you share it with, guys. So cheers. And I will see you next time, Tuesday, for another round on my channel. So check out Tuesday. Look for the link in YouTube, and I'll see you guys then. Cheers, everybody. See you soon.